see, there are so many bikes here in the bike shop, but this one was made by John Rubens especially. It's called Misty. It's kind of tiny compared to this large one right here, but it's still a great collection. There are many ways that students on the U of I campus can choose to stay safe this upcoming unofficial weekend. But for those staying at this property, Kevin Roberts said people can press a button and reach whoever they need right above to guarantee safety.
I've been feeling really stressed lately, so of course I had to stop here and get some acupuncture done really quickly. It's going to be going over my arms right now, and couldn't even feel a thing.
So something that the students have been doing here is making these sticky notes with really powerful notes on them. We have one here right now that says, "You make a difference." And the students have just been working together to make a really safe space for LGBT students on campus and transgender students as well. People were able to gather in a small group, crack open a nice drink, and answer how they felt about the political atmosphere of tomorrow.
The room was packed last week when faculty, students, and community members gathered to openly discuss what race means for individuals on a university campus. A panel of speakers, ranging from student group leaders to UIUC Chancellor Robert Jones, all had a thing or two to say as guests questioned where the future of the university lied for those seeking change. Racial inequality in the classroom and moments of discrimination were only a few of the topics brought into the conversation. Adrian Flowers, a grounds worker at the university, was a participant in the forum. He says actions of hate is no new subject for him.
I came in to the area that I clock in and clock out at. It was a guy with a noose. He had made it, and he was just swinging around his hand. And it's a particular table, desk, or whatever you want to call it, that I work at or whatever. He just threw it on the desk, on the table, and clocked out and went home.
Flowers and other audience members were given a chance to ask the panel questions regarding their personal experiences on campus. But the main question of the night was drilled down to two words: what's next? Chancellor Robert Jones spoke personally to individuals during and after the event. He says the university is ready to take the steps to make campus an open environment for all.
To recruit and retain students and make sure that they have an amazing experience once they enroll at this university.
Students, faculty, and local donors are eager to see the university become a more inclusive place for those who feel mistreated. Some people believe this conversation was the first step in a better direction.
We as a people need to get over all this racist stuff and get on with life. That's pretty much it.
And American Indian Studies.
In Champaign, Aaliyah Gibson, UI7 News. The McKinley Health Center hosted its 24th annual health fair today. With a focus on wellness, live music played as guests wandered from booth to booth to learn how they could better improve their everyday health. Yoga and massages were only a few of the services offered, but for Carla Stessel, a sophomore at the university, one opportunity stood out from the rest: free acupuncture.
Thought about acupuncture before, but it's pretty expensive usually, and so I thought it would be really good to just, get a little sample without having to, pay out of my pocket.
Stessel says she's been having a lot of stress lately, but the acupuncture procedure was quick and easy with a nice benefit at the end.
Just kind of came over and you had to roll up your sleeves and stuff, but when you put the needles in, I didn't even feel them. So at first, honestly, when I was sitting there, I didn't know if it was working or not, but afterwards I felt really relaxed.
James Lohr has been practicing acupuncture for 18 years. He says the procedure is simple, but can be especially beneficial to students.
From studying a lot, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of stress sometimes is involved, but it can help clear your mind and just feel more focused on your work.
So I've been feeling really stressed lately, so of course I had to stop here and get some acupuncture done really quickly. It's going to be going over my arms right now, and couldn't even feel a thing.
Crystal says she thinks the health fair is important because it helps students stay aware of health resources available in the community.
I think a lot of people underestimate the importance of health fairs, or just even awareness of what resources are available in the community. So I think it's really good for students to know what resources are at their disposal.
In Urbana, Aaliyah Gibson, UI7 News. If you've ever taken a creative writing course at the University of Illinois, chances are you've had John Rubens as an instructor. But when he's not leading class discussions or taking a role, you can find Rubens at the Bike Project riding along on one of the many bikes he's built himself.
I like to build things, and very specifically, I wanted a bike that I could ride through the winter. And I thought, oh, it would be great to come to the bike project because they have a bunch of scrap bikes and stuff, and I could learn a little bit more about bikes and how to make them. And so I came down here and started building some bikes.
But for Rubens, a standard bike just wouldn't do.
Just as a designer, I was interested in bikes that are a little bit stranger than ordinary bikes.
And each of his bikes hold that special quirk he was looking for. From one with a hall in the front to another simply called the Big Bike, all the way to Rubens' smallest creation, Misty.
As you can see, there are so many bikes here in the bike shop, but this one was made by John Rubens especially. It's called Misty. It's kind of tiny compared to this large one right here, but it's still a great collection.
Back in the classroom, Dan Levin, a student in Rubens' creative writing course, says he's seen a collection of bikes on and off campus.
It's been an interesting professor. To point down any particular points might be kind of tough because he's kind of a varied sort of guy, but he's always engaging. Always.
For Rubens, bike building is a constant component in his life. Biking has taken him far and wide around the country, but he narrows his sentiment down to something quite simple.
Wherever you can ride, it's great to ride.
In Urbana, Aaliyah Gibson, UI7 Newsbreak. Welcome to UI7 Newsbreak. I'm Aaliyah Gibson. It is an emotional day for the Abilene, Texas Police Department when they tragically lost one of their own. The officer was found dead in his home Monday. Investigators are treating the death as a homicide. On Tuesday, 2 suspects were questioned on suspicion of murder. If charged, 30-year-old Violetta Walter and 29-year-old Philip Walter will face first-degree murder charges. The Abilene Police Department said he was a great man and great officer. He always did his job with a smile. Union speaking to students, addressing a recent email sent out by President Tim Kaine, talking about the university being used as safe sanctuaries for undocumented immigrant students here on campus. I'm here right now talking with a student, and she has some things to say about the issue right now. So can you tell me exactly how this issue will impact or has impacted the university?
We wrap up today's newscast with some lighthearted national news. Former Vice President Joe Biden has picked his favorite meme during his time in office with President Obama. And to no surprise, it deals with the bromance between the two over their 8 years together.